Who made your Vivitar lens? That's the topic for today's video. Now for Vivitar, there's basically two eras. The first one was between the 60s and the early 90s, and then the second era, which started in the 2000s. The first era, it was the Vivitar in its heyday when it was really good. They were based out of Los Angeles, and they had other manufacturers make their stuff. Most of them were from Japan, but they did have some in the US, and I think they had some in Germany. Then the second era of Vivitar started in the 2000s. This is where Vivitar gets a bad name, because the people who bought it just started rebranded cheap Chinese stuff. So basically anything from like the 2000s and up that's made by Vivitar is just going to be made in China stuff. Now there are some couple of items that are good, but there's some that are really bad. But today we're going to be talking about the early Vivitar, the Vivitar in its heyday, which they had some manufacturers making them some great lenses. Like almost all of them are actually really good. And they actually had some Vivitar Series 1s, which a lot of the pros used. They were as good as the Nikon and Canon, or actually in some cases they were even better. So now we're going to be talking about how to find out who made your Vivitar lens. First thing you want to look is for the serial number on your lens, which is right here. And if you have other lenses, it will probably be on the side. On this lens, it's on the side. What you want to look for is the first two numbers. This one is 22, and this one over here is also 22. And then you just look up on this little cheat sheet I have, and you look up the number 22. Is made by Kino, which is also known as Kiron. Now they're actually regarded as making some really good lenses. The first two is 6 and 9. It won't have a number in front of it. It won't have a like a 1 or a 0 in front of it. So it starts with the 6. It was made by Olympus, which we all know they make some good stuff. Now number 9, it was made by Cosina, which is actually one of my favorite lens manufacturers. They're still making stuff. If you heard of the Carl Zeiss lenses and the Voigtlanders of today, they're made by Cosina. They're not even made in Germany anymore. They're made by Cosina in China. Right, so moving down on the list, if it starts with the 13, it was made by Schneider Optik. I really don't know anything about them. 22 is made by Kiron, as we mentioned. 25 is Ozone Optical. I haven't heard anything about them actually. 28 is Komine. Now Komine actually made some very good macro lenses. I've had one of them before, but they have it's a 90mm, I think, the 2.5. That's like one of the most highly regarded macro lenses ever made. I used to have their 55 2.8 macro lens, which did a 1:1, like built in. It was really nice. Okay, so moving on down the list, 32 is by Makinon. I haven't heard anything about them, but maybe some of you guys have. 33 is Asanuma. Again, I haven't heard nothing about them. 37, Tokina. Now, you probably heard of Tokina because they still make some lenses. Most of the lenses are alright. They make some pretty good ones, actually. 42 is Bauer. I haven't heard anything about them. 44 is Perkin Elmer. I'm pretty sure they're one of the US makers. 47 is Chinon or Kinon. They made a bunch of stuff. Like, it depends on what item you got. They make some stuff that's really crap, but they make some stuff that's decent also. 51 is Tokyo Trading. I have never heard of them either. 56 is Kyoe Schoji. I hope I pronounced that right. Haven't heard anything about them. 75 is Hoya, which you probably know today as they make a bunch of filters. They also make other stuff. And number 81 is Polar. So yeah, just look up the first two serial numbers. The first two numbers on your serial number, and look them up on this little sheet right here, and it'll give you a clue on who made your lens. Now there are some numbers that aren't on this list. I don't have the complete list. So if yours is not on this list, just look up those two numbers. Just go on Google and type in like a Vivitar serial number and type in your first two numbers, and hopefully you'll find out that of somebody who knows who made your lens. But yeah, the Vivitar, all the Vivitars I've had have actually been really good. It's surprising because like, they have such a bad name today just because of what happened in the 2000s, that they got bought by another company who just started rebranded Chinese stuff. So a bunch of people stay away from Vivitar, the old Vivitar stuff. They actually stay away from it, which is a shame on their part. But it's good for us because we know that we get some steals on some lenses. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks.